So hello and welcome to season 6 of the Mundane to Magical Online Summit series. My name is Louise Matson, and as always, I am truly blessed to be your host. Today we have another pre-recorded interview with the wonderful Maria Fels. And this interview with Maria is for me an example of how spirit works its magic. I connected with Maria's work through a series of synchronistic events through the Mundane to Magical Online Summit, which led me to getting that little nudge from Spirit to invite her onto the show and share her wisdom around a particular area of astrology that I hadn't come across before, but which really, really resonated with me when I had a personal reading with Maria. So I'm really excited to welcome Maria to this series and introduce you all to the specialized area of astrology that Maria works with. So let me share a little bit about Maria's background. With a degree in business administration, Maria supports people with their inner organizational structure. She's a Karmic Astrologer, intuitive life coach, card reader, and door opener. Her autodidactic studies were in diverse fields of psychology and nonviolent communication. And she was also a teacher of self-defense and is an interpreter for women living with domestic violence. Maria is also a singer and a nature lover and enjoys communicating with animals. And Maria states that in the 25 years that she's been coaching clients in 5 different languages from different backgrounds and cultures, her challenging life experience has been her greatest educator. And she's really very grateful for it. And I can attest to that fact, that it's been through the most challenging aspects of my life that I have grown the most. Now, the topic for today's conversation is Karmic Astrology and how to unlock your soul purpose with the Lunar Node axis. So many people who begin their journey along the spiritual awakening path find themselves asking questions about their soul purpose, for they feel innately that they are here for something more, something deeper, something special. And I'm sure many of you can resonate with that. And there are so many different modalities out there, such as numerology, soul contract readings, human design, etc., in addition to astrology, that help people piece together the various aspects of our unique vibrational frequencies that we came here to master, and that provide us with the insights into our soul purpose and mission in this incarnation. And as I've traveled through my own journey of remembering, I found that these more specialized modalities that focus on one particular area can really offer some major transformational opportunities as we hone down into the specific energetic of our unique path. So it is my absolute pleasure and honor to welcome you to the show, Maria.
Hi, Louise. Hi, dear audience. I'm very happy to be here and very grateful to be able to talk about one topic I work with, which I think contributed to a lot of changes in my life. I start right from my birth, because it started already. I was born into a family where I didn't actually feel well when I got out into this world. But of course, my soul had chosen to go there. And I actually wanted to quit the world right from the beginning. Had a long stay in hospital, blood transfusions, and I was, I think I didn't like the place I had come to. So, and I mean, these are things I'm sure many of you will recall also, happenings which have been before. Once you start to work on yourself, you reflect and you can see everything is linked. So in my home, I was criticized all the time. And one particular question I was asked almost every day was, why are you like this? By my mother. And so right from the beginning, I always thought there's something wrong with me. I mean, and I already had an insecure topic that I brought into this world of being an insecure person. And so it topped it, by being asked, why are you like this? And it wasn't meant in a positive way. It was always meant, oh, I mean, you're doing this and all this, you know. So, well, as life went on, I always did everything what I was asked for. I wanted to be loved and accepted. So I grew into a pattern, which was not truly, honestly myself. I started to adapt. I did school well. I passed my A levels. I was a good student, but then I already started to change. I dared to change. After my A levels, I went to England and I worked as an au pair girl. And for us in Switzerland, this wasn't anything low class or whatever. It was normal for us to go and work and study languages. So in England, I was confronted with this class thinking. And again, I was not okay. You know, I was in the first family I was a slave, you know, they treated me really, I was working very hard. Anyway, my soul screamed out and said, stop. I'm not going to do this any longer. I'm not going to go back. I didn't tell my parents. I chose another family. So this was actually the main, a very important change in my life. I felt it was not okay, and I felt people didn't treat me in a right way. So I must make a decision and go for it. So I found a new family. They were fine. And I was very proud of myself. I felt very good within me, you know. And well, I had to overcome the situation that I wasn't loved by the ones I left, but I loved myself just a little bit then, not that much yet. So this is one important point in life, actually, is that when we feel that something is not good anymore, that we dare to make a change, that we listen to our soul, because we've come here to accomplish our soul's path. We haven't come here to please your mother, your father, your brother, your lover, and your friends. No. I mean, you can be sometimes, maybe we are also mean to people, but maybe we have to be this. Maybe it's a karmic balance we are making by doing this. It doesn't mean that I wouldn't focus on being mean to people, but just we can't always behave that it pleases others. So as my life went on, I did a lot of education. I studied languages. I did business administration. I had a lot of challenges because I supported myself. I wasn't paid for anything. So my studies, which were a business administration, were actually the complete opposite of myself. Absolutely. So, but I did it, and I wanted to finish it because I was told you finished what you started and then you have a diploma. That was the way of thinking I had then. And unfortunately, when I got my diploma, I mean, I was sad. Nobody came from my family. So, I thought, who have I done it for? There again, being in this wish that you please somebody, And so I started to work. I did more education. I got into self-defense as well. It was a side job. I did it because I had to solve many problems of putting limits, standing up for myself. I had a lot of violence issues in my life before as a youngster. And so I wanted to become a teacher for that and support women and girls. And it helped me to become more secure. And astrology started to interest me within this time. And I got my first written analysis around 30. But when I read it, I didn't really understand it. And all the forecasts they made weren't, how shall I say, well, nothing took place. So I put it aside, never mind, you know. I knew my sun, I knew my rising, and I knew a bit more. And went on working, and again, I mean, I've been in different companies. During my studies, I worked on different levels, never in high positions, but always for high positioned people. And I had the chance to study people, because whenever, since I was a child, I would observe people. And so I did my observations. And since I was always interested in organizational structures, first, I mean, companies, then the people working in there, and then the human being itself, you know, how do I have to live to be a happy person? How can I live myself? And so I got into psychology and everything.
So with your life path and all of these different experiences that were nudging you, guiding you ever so gently, but also giving you the tools that you're now using and utilizing when you have a client session, how did you come into actually working on a much deeper level with astrology in terms of really honing in and specializing into the topic of today's session, which is karmic astrology, and how that enables you to unlock your soul purpose with the lunar node axis?
It was, again, I had a big challenge, and in life, I had done private studies for a while in astrology, but I couldn't afford to go deeper. And then I had some circumstances that were very bad. And after that, I found back to astrology. And I studied all I had studied before, and then I went to study profound karmic astrology. And I did it for 3 years on a person-to-person basis. So I was really challenged every second when I was with my teacher, because I had to look at all aspects. And ever since I remember around the 30s, my intention in life was, I mean, how can I mean, I knew not the intention, but I started to intend to be a happy person. It was, I always said, if people would work more on themselves, on their inner parts, and make peace here in their hearts, we wouldn't have any wars and bad things happening. So this was driving me all the time. And then I got to the Lunar Node method, and I thought, that's it, I find myself. You know, because the Lunar Node, I give you now a short technical view on it. The lunar nodes are actually an intersection in the universe. It's the intersection points of the solar and lunar eclipse. So there are 2 points. And maybe you could show the pic whilst I'm speaking. So we have the South Node and we have the North Node. So the South Node is what our soul brings into this life. It's our past. It's actually the karmic lessons that are within this South Lunar Node. And you must look at it, I mean, in the horoscope, you will always find the North Lunar Node signed in, seldom the South Lunar Node. So if you look at your horoscope, if you have one at home, go to your North Lunar Node, and right on the opposite side, you will find the South Lunar Node. And there, your origin lies. This is the place, I mean, before you were born, this is where you decided what you decided to work on, to work with your soul's purpose, your karmic lessons you will have to go through to get to the middle. If you look at this as an axis, it's a development axis. So to improve your South Lunar Node, you go to the North Lunar Node, and you don't, is unknown to you. You don't know, it's an opposite. So your being is has no idea how the being of the North Lunar Node, which lies also within you but has to be awakened, can be worked on. So yes, you could put the pic back, I think. Thank you very much. So our soul decides before being born to work on this topic. In the horoscope, you will find the nodes in different houses. A horoscope consists of 12 houses, and each house has a topic.
When you say horoscope, you mean the birth chart?
The chart.
A lot of people call it a natal chart or a birth chart. Yeah.
Birth chart. Excuse me. This is translated from German. I actually live in Zurich, Switzerland. So this is where I was born into, right? Just to let you know. So I take now, I mean, since Louise gave me the permission, I look at her horoscope now. And in her horoscope, for example, the South Node lies in the 10th house. And the 10th house is the house of the outside world, the working world, a job, authority, hierarchies. It is, it's structure, organization. So let's say this is what Louise brought into this life. And she actually knows it very well. And she works with it. And when we were talking about her chart, we could see, yes, that's the world that is known to you, Louise, right? Isn't it? Yeah, and you feel safe in it. And, well, you have your challenges. Mind you, it doesn't mean, I mean, that even if we know our South Node topic, and we bring all these talents, qualities, weaknesses with us into this world, I mean, we must still work on them. It's not that we sit here and say, okay, I have this talent and, well, I don't need to do anything about it. No, you must develop it further because you might lose it. And it's also like this. We don't work with this topic just once. So we actually accumulate it like in a vase, in a container, all our experiences we've made through all these, I don't know, thousands of lives. I don't know anymore how many lives. They become more and more each day, I think. And this accumulation of knowledge still has to get developed further. And we can do this by activating our opposite. So the opposite in Louise's chart is the fourth house. And the fourth house stands for family, stands for feelings, stands for subconscious, the deepest point within you. So, of course, when you think of it, oh God, I can manage any job situation. I function perfect. And then it comes to feelings. Scream, what is this? We have no clue what it is. I'm not saying this now about Louise. I'm just saying this is what our soul feels when she's confronted with the opposite. It is, what the heck is this? How am I going to deal with it? And so life gives us opportunities. Life gives us the family we're born into. Life gives us a partner that will help us. We don't consider it as help, of course. We consider it as, oh God, this guy is so mean to me, But once we step out of being the victim, this is one of the topics really we get to achieve, is to leave the victim attitude, become an observer, watch what is going on, dare to dive into yourself, be courageous, and say, okay, my partner is actually very, he shows his feelings, and sometimes it's just too much for me. I can't deal with it. And, how shall I, and he asks me to be the same, he asks me to tell him how much I love him and cuddle him, and I can't do it. It's not that a person with this constitution has no feelings. This person doesn't show the feelings in the same way somebody who has his topic in the fourth house shows his feelings. So there is the conflict, for both sides. It is not just that it's always the others that make us problems. No, we make them problems too. And that's why we have to look at everything as a chance for growth, for becoming more conscious about what we're here for. The more we are conscious, the more we will grow, because, maybe we get into this situation again, the challenge, and then, oh God, what am I going to do? Oh yes, it's my topic. I know, I do my best. I try my best, and then you dare to go into it. And by this, you will activate your South Node. This is now technical when I say activate your South Node, but you will fulfill your soul's purpose. You've come here to become even within yourself one day. I don't know how many lives we have to pass to become even within, no idea. And it doesn't matter. Look at it as an adventure. It is like Indiana Jones, or James Bond, or whatever, life-threatening sometimes, but you can get out of it. And my experience with the Karmic Astrology is this. I got more confident. I trust myself. I opened up completely to myself. I'm completely honest with myself and true to myself. And that's how I could become the authentic person I'm now. What I do, I live, I can't do anything else. I couldn't do it before. You agree, Louise, yes. I guess. You were talking about this before when I saw you on summits. Yes, I mean, it is, once we open up to our soul, I mean, I sometimes talk to my soul. I say, tell me everything, let me know. I don't get it. I'm too much in my mind. How can I get into it? You know? So dive into it. Ask your soul to help you. Or, I mean, I can just say, my method of karmic astrology, which is not just practiced by me, of course, helps a lot to have like a, it gave me hold, you know, when you know, okay, 10th house is my topic, in there, focus is on this and this. I must, I get to learn this and this, you know, because I myself, for example, I never knew, because some people know this in their childhood already, what they will become. And I knew I want to become a teacher, and I'm a kind of teacher now by helping people to find their path in their lives. But I never, I mean, what concerns concerning music, I was very insecure. But I'm a musician, I'm a singer, you know, music is in my blood, in my soul. And also therapeutical work, psychology, helping people, supporting them. It's in my blood, in my soul. And once I learned that I have this, you know, it, something fell off me, some insecurity. Doesn't mean that that I'm always 100% sure about myself and everything, but still it gave me a basis, you know.
I think that's one of the most key things. We go through life and we have all these different experiences and opportunities, and we react or respond to them in a particular way. And we see patterns going on in our lives, and we continue to react and respond to them in a similar way. It's when you actually have a reading done, and it doesn't matter what the reading is, but when we hone into something specific like this, you actually get to understand why you react and respond in that particular way all the time. Because of course I do, because it's what I know, it's what I came in with. I've got a master's degree in that. I've
Yes.
like had that, all my other life experiences, yeah, I've got that one ticked off, can do that. Now in this lifetime I'm here to challenge myself, because for me this soul embodiment, soul evolutionary journey, it's always about growth, it's always about expansion.
Yes.
So wherever you've come from, whatever you've mastered and you've gone, yeah, big tick, you it's not over. It's like, you know, spirit always says to me, it's not the destination, it's the journey. And so
Yes.
if I understand you correctly from when we spoke on the chart reading for myself, it's the journey around the chart from the South Node to the North Node. So it's not that you're going to ignore all the other aspects in between. It's kind of like you can gauge where you are, as it were, in the different elements of those different signs and houses, but you're heading towards the North Node, which is mastering the abilities that are associated with that house and associated with that sign. Is that correct?
Yes, it is. I mean, our soul tries to integrate these new aspects the soul doesn't know yet. So we take it in on our journey. It's by bits and pieces. It's not that we will complete this, and we don't need to expect from us to complete this at a perfection level, you know. It's not about being perfect. It's about daring to go and walk your soul's path, to dive into it, to trust that you're on the right journey, you know. And the opposite side is a tool that helps you to get closer to your true being. Because in the end, we are all love, and it's only about love. This is what I've come about these days, past times. When I'm in love, in the feeling of love for myself first, by truly accepting that, for example, the going into feelings is difficult for me, but I try and I'm happy that I can manage it. And I don't need to compare, never compare to anybody. It will put you off because you will always find somebody who knows better. I mean, this is all rubbish, you know. So trust within and just take this step by step and give this unapologetically true love to yourself. Accept yourself, be your own best friend. If you don't manage, just talk to you as if you were talking to your best friend, you know, and not by whipping yourself. I didn't do it, you know. And it is a journey and it is a chance. Don't forget who you are, what you're conscious about, who you are. We are much more than what we think we are. So this journey, going from one opposite to the other, I find, is a big chance, you know, to open within, to become the whole piece in the end. I mean, after our session, I mean, you know, I said, well, now I've been talking to Louise, you know, what's my opposite? I mean, I know what my opposite is. I said, yes, I know the feeling. Yes, it's the opposite. But I will do it somehow. I don't know how, you know. It doesn't mean that since I'm teaching this or working with this tool, that I'm now accomplished. I'm on the journey as well. So we're just here to support one another, you know. And one thing I can do is support with this tool I'm having, you know.
Yeah, one of the things that actually having the reading with you as well was one of the benefits of that for me was obviously, you know, I'm in my 50s, so I've lived quite a lot of my life, and I've been on the spiritual path for the vast majority of it in some way, shape, or form. But it was interesting and quite pleasing, I suppose, because when you acknowledged that actually, you know, I was on the path to being fully able to embrace and express my feelings and to work comfortably within the feeling realm, I could look back on my journey from where I've come from and go, oh wow, yeah, actually I appreciate how far I've come on that journey without fully realizing that that was actually what I was doing. Yes. Because there's been many things that I've learned through many other modalities, you know, I need to open my heart and all of this. Well, it was all about being able to get in touch with my feelings. And I remember for the best part of my earlier years, I was quite proud of being numb, you know, of not feeling anything. You know, when people would be going through the roller coaster of emotions, I was kind of flatlining because I wouldn't engage. Because whenever I did, it was just so painful. Because I was sensitive, you know, feelings were just like, oh my gosh, you know, overwhelming. So my journey really has been that. And I know we mentioned before we came on and started recording my recent post about, you know, renovating the house and all of the kind of the reflections that was, the external reflecting the internal. And, you know, as you strip the wallpaper off the house, you find something else underneath. And that's what we're doing, that whole process. This whole process from South Node to North Node is that we're stripping away the old wallpaper off the walls and we're seeing what's underneath. And it's only then that we get to kind of see how far we've come, because in that moment, I was able to have a mini meltdown. But in that same moment, see from a much bigger perspective what was going on. and kind of engage in both. So it just kind of brought everything, for me, it just brought everything beautifully together.
But this is the most important thing. And about you saying before, of feeling numb, not feeling anything, sometimes we need to protect ourselves because we are really attacked and our personality is not respected, who we are. We can't express it yet because maybe we are too young or we are not sure. We are already grown-ups, but we are not sure about our talents, about our being or what our path is, I mean, for example, around 30, I mean, the lunar node activation actually takes place earliest at 26, 28. So this is when it starts to get into your consciousness. Doesn't mean that you don't, I mean, you will, some people know their talents before, it's not that you just then learn what you can do well, but it's an act of consciousness. So you have a tool you can work with. And then by the age of 30, for example, we have the Saturn return. This means that the Saturn that's walking around all the time meets the Saturn we have in our chart. So there, people get into crisis. Many people ask themselves, gosh, what am I here for? What's going on? And many bad things can happen. But when we consider Saturn as, this is also 10th house, as our greatest teacher, he is also a door opener. If we don't, I mean, sometimes it's looked at as, oh, he's destroying everything and giving me a hard time. Yeah, he's a tough guy. He's just straightforward. He doesn't talk around things. He says, here we are, and you do this now. If you don't do it, well, it's your choice, and so you can get the chance. And I think we should never criticize ourselves for something we were not able to do in a certain moment of our lives. As you said, that you could look back by renovating the house now in all what you've achieved in your life, and you can see this pattern going through. This is the great thing about becoming more conscious, older. I mean, what is age anyway? We all, I mean, the soul is, I don't know how old the soul is, whatever, it doesn't matter. But when you can look at it, what you've gone through and what you managed, and you can tap on your shoulder and say, hey, I did it then, and it was tough then. I'm doing it now as well. And now I have more packages of help with me. I have more knowledge. As you said, you honed into your soul's work quite a while ago. You have many tools, and you will get more tools. Just ask for them, right? Never forget that. And you will get this help you need. And I find that by contacting, it sounds so strange, but it is, for me, I started it a long time ago to put up contact with my soul. I mean, I don't see my soul. I mean, where is it actually? What is it? But I started to talk to it regularly, had conversations. And I was shown through dreams or through further work on myself, I got answers. And the same thing I would do with my subconscious. I would say, well, I know the statistics say 95 to 99% are not being seen or are not conscious. Help me to find the solution for my life now. I really want to develop further. So we should always take the chance,
And I do think that something like this, you know, having your chart read, you know, or whatever other modality that you may be guided to, are those doorways in to that deepening, that deeper connection to the other aspects of who you are, not just this physical form, not
Yeah.
just what you've been taught you are, and you know the roles that you've societally, culturally been allowed to play. I think these are all doorways in. But what I particularly liked about this one was um, the fact that it is leading you on a journey. You're going through a journey. The whole of your chart, the whole of the gene codes or whatever, you are going on a journey through from one place to another. And that's
Yes.
what the soul is experiencing. So the more we connect with these, and the deeper we understand these that have all been, like you said, chosen prior to incarnation, you know, the time of our birth, the place of our birth, the family that we came into, it was all chosen by us to
Yes.
provide us with these perfect opportunities for this journey. The more we connect and understand that, the deeper we actually connect with the wider aspects of ourselves that enable us then to have those conversations, that enable us then to receive more insights, or you know, receive messages or guidance from dream time,
Yeah.
or you know, however we receive the messages. And there's so many different ways that we do that.
Yes.
Are there any other benefits that you feel that you really want to share with the audience about having this particular karmic astrological reading? Because I know for your free gift, you very generously offered a free 15-minute overview for people, which will be on the free gifts page, and will also be on the free gifts tab underneath the image of Maria on the upcoming calls page and the replay page. What are the benefits that we may not have already covered from having this reading?
I mean, it has all to do with wanting to become more conscious. The more we really give ourselves a chance to dive into our being, the more we can fulfill our soul's path. And to me, it is, I've come closer to love. How shall I say? I've come closer to myself. I was so aloof. I don't know. I was there, and I mean, my body was here, but I was somewhere. And it made me more compact. I mean, it's like things have come to me, you know, and I don't feel torn that much. It gave me more. This is what I needed in life. I never had roots. Since I didn't feel well in my home, so I could build up some roots. But it's only my home is within me. You know, this is my benefit. I mean, we need a home, a roof. We are lucky nowadays to have it, and we should always be grateful. I'm grateful for every single thing that comes to me and helps me on my journey, even though sometimes I go crazy about what I have to pass through. But I know now it has some reason. And with a chart, I can dive into so deep. And when I support people with a chart, I really get to the deepest parts with them. That's why I mentioned before, I did my first analysis was written, I was given. I would never do a written analysis. I must see the person and talk to her and feel the person. When I analyze a horoscope, I spend hours. I don't do it in the technical way. I mean, there's a technical part. This is the least a part of time it takes. But I dive into it, you know, because you can And by this, that's my benefit, how I can help people, is I get to the point with a person, I'm led to it right away. And one thing we didn't talk about is that many people expect forecasts.
Yes.
And this is one thing, that's why I mentioned my written horoscope before. I don't actually do forecasts. I look into the matter, of course. I mean, I've done it with myself for years, but you can't, it's always a flow, it's always a journey. If I would tell you today, tomorrow this and this will happen, and in the evening you decide you go left instead of right, but you told me you go right, your future is different. So nothing of that will happen. And I can't tell you. What I can say is if there's a cluster of transition planets, I can say, I think there might be something going on in this field. Do you feel it or don't you? Some people don't feel any transitions, they're having. And so this is one reason why I skipped this part, but I can help people if also when there are foreseen changes, most of the times they're already in it or they feel it when they come and ask, then we can go into it. But I can't tell you, you will win money with the lottery tomorrow, or you find your beautiful husband. Shame, right? I would do it for myself. I'm telling you, I'm honest, But forget it. To me, it is really to give people a chance to have an instrument they can work on themselves. Yeah. I mean, I make a big analysis, and then if people want to work on different topics, we can get together again in short meetings, and we can look at these points with the chart. So they can have this as a background. They see, well, I understand now. If you feel attracted by astrology, of course, there are other tools, I know, but today I'm allowed to talk about my tools. So I want to make it popular because we are also in the Aquarian time for the next 2,150 years. And Aquarian is astrology. And I bring a lot of this with me into this life. And Aquarian is always advanced to the rest of the people. So Aquarian is never understood because Aquarian thinks already about things nobody has an idea about. And I'm grateful to have this gift and tool, and my soul wants to share it with the others.
And one thing that I will say as well is, like you've just alluded to, it's not just that you are doing the technical aspect of looking at somebody's chart and kind of, just basically repeating everything that you have been taught about what's been said. You actually connect in. It's an intuitive process. It's a channeled process. So you bring through aspects that are beyond, that are kind of overlay the technical aspect of the reading. You actually connect in with the person. And I think that is one of your skills, obviously. It's one of your gifts, and it's what I felt made the reading that bit more than, like you say, just having some kind of transcript that you read and it's like, well, this transit and that transit and this house means this and that house means that. It was very much deeper than that, and very much more connected to me personally, my soul's journey that it had in this lifetime, because you were bringing through stuff that I could then say yes, this is what is that, this was the example of that energy, but yes, this is how it has showed up for me. And I think that blend works well for the time that we're in, like you say, this Aquarian age that we are. Some people say we've already started, some people say we're just starting, but whatever, we are moving into this, wider, aspect of ourselves as beings, eternal beings, where we're moving away from the structures, we're moving away into the new, and we don't, we've got visions that are different from what has been, but we don't quite know what will be. And I feel that your particular way of working with astrology incorporates that energy into it as well. And one of the things that I absolutely loved, and not just about the work that you do and what you've said today, is that, even in the reading that we had that conversation about, it is about us allowing ourselves to be unapologetically us. It is about, allowing ourselves to love ourselves, which I think and feel is something that has been massively lacking in most people's lives. When I talk to people, when I talk to clients, and me personally, not receiving love in childhood, but also not giving love to ourselves, and not really understanding what loving ourselves actually looks and feels like. But through this journey of the South Node to the North Node, that's what I feel it has taught me. It has taught me actually what loving myself really looks like. And it's not necessarily just sitting in front of a mirror and saying, I love you. It's properly understanding yourself and the journey that you came here to have. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I feel very honored about your words, and I'm grateful that I could be part of your journey, with our session. And I think this aspect of love, this is actually our topic, despite the theme we bring in and all this. It's the true love to ourselves. When we love ourselves, we can be loved. I mean, I haven't lived love. Sort of, I've heard the word, I love you, or I would watch romantic movies and cry tears. Getting tissues and be on the ground. But this was just a slight opening to it. So once we really let ourselves into this uncritical behavior to ourselves, in this 100% accepting ourselves the way we are, and having compassion with us. I mean, we've been, and I know I'm talking to all of you, we've all had this. We all have the same issues actually to work on, and is that we all think we are not good enough, nobody loves me, and we do terrible things to ourselves. We self-sabotage and we destroy ourselves. I mean, I was not conscious about what I was doing to myself for so many years, because I couldn't feel it, I was also, as you said before, when you felt numb, I just locked up, because I couldn't, I'm very sensitive. I'm much too sensitive, which is a good aspect for my work, because then I can really help the client, and I feel the client. I really feel into it, into the being. But for myself, sometimes it's difficult to cope, and then this be locking yourself into the walls, which doesn't help in the end as well, maybe a short time. And so I think we all pass similar things. And if we would be more generous to each other and not just, I mean, well, I must say, to me, many things I could never understand how people could be mean to others and do things they did. I couldn't, and I still can't. And no matter how much I know, or that my consciousness got a bit more opened, but everybody seeks love, and I think love, find it in yourself, and be true to yourself. Don't make a show in front of yourself, you know. And and you can practice this with yourself, to tell yourself in the mirror, gosh, you are like this, and maybe you don't like a few points, so tell them, but ask, how can I change it? I want to be different. I want to cope. How can I do it? Or whenever you meet a challenging situation, what has it got to do with me? What do I need to learn? Where's my chance? What's the positive thing about it? Of course, you can't do it when you sit right into it. Well, so let this pass and then become an observer and see what was going on. Oh, gosh, I've done this before. Well, how do I change this? I mean, I would go on for days when I'm unhappy about an issue. How can I change it? How can I change it? Help me, tell me, soul, or whoever. You know, and the answer will come. It will come. By means you don't expect. You don't always need to read the book. You can just ask.
Yes, yeah, and I think it's for me, it's becoming more that it's not about, you know, unless you're being guided to read a book, in which case it's
Yes.
there's something within that's
Yes.
the message for you. But it's more a case of it's not out there, you know, it's out there is a reflection of what's in here, but the answers aren't out there, it's in here. It's connecting more and more with ourselves, accepting ourselves, and loving ourselves. I do apologise for the noise in the background, but I am having my house renovated at the minute. Oh, there we go. Might have to cut that little bit out, we'll see. But yeah, for me it's this journey inwards. It's this journey back to ourselves that things like this karmic astrology help and assist us with. That then open up and allow us to expand more into ourselves, because we've contracted, we've closed ourselves off, we've built walls to protect ourselves. And this is really all about dismantling all of that, as we're dismantling and seeing the dismantling of the old structures at the moment, and expanding into who and what we truly are. I'm just aware of the time, and I'm aware of the builder's noise as well. Are there any last words that you want to say, want to share with people before we bring this conversation to a close?
I want actually to connect with what you said before, that everything lies within us. It's upon us to dig it out. That's our task. And wherever we are led to get help, I mean, as you said, reading a book, or by just asking a question, or going to consult somebody for advice, or whatever tools you are led to, use them, and just be true and honest and open to yourself. This is the only thing that counts in life. And just to be really to be honest and love yourself for the being you are, you know, because you're perfect.
Absolutely, and for the being that you came here to be, and
Yes.
and just the fact that it is a journey, you know.
Yes.
It's like you've come in with all these wonderful gifts and talents and skills and strengths, and it's what's got you through all of this stuff until you've become kind of conscious and can consciously work with it. And then it's like, okay, we're on this journey to over here on the chart. How do I bring those energies in? How do I expand myself into that space and know even more of myself? Because from my perspective, we're all of those aspects in the chart, regardless of where they may sit and what our points our planets are in. We're a whole being, so we contain all of it. It's just we've got these particular energies that we came here to kind of experience and master, or just, you know, have the experience of working towards whatever our journey, our perfect journey is. Thank you so much, Maria, for coming on and sharing your beautiful wisdom and your beautiful energy with us today about karmic astrology. And I will reiterate again, you have generously offered a free 15-minute overview of people's lunar nodes and the houses and what that might mean. But obviously, if people want to dive deeper with you after receiving that, then they're very welcome to then book a session with you. All your details and all the details for you to be able to contact Maria will be underneath this video on the emails that go out, and also obviously the details on how to access the free gifts will be on the free gift page as well. So thank you so much, Maria, for joining us today. I'm going to bring this conversation to a close, and tomorrow we do have a live interview. So I look forward to welcoming everybody onto the live interview with me at 6 o'clock UK time, 10 o'clock Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. The replays will also obviously be available for those who can't make it to the live. If you do have any questions for the live videos, please don't forget to pop your ask a question in the appropriate tab on the upcoming calls page, and we'll try and get those answered for you. But if not, then I always trust that the universe will bring the perfect message through for everyone anyway. Okay, so much love to everybody. Have a great rest of your days wherever you are in the world, and yeah, until we meet again, take care. Bye.